for okay. Thank you so much, colleagues, friends, for joining in today. I wish you all are having a very good morning or a very good afternoon, depending where you are. I'd like to welcome the different participants from around the globe, participants that are part of water and sanitation utilities, regulators, development planners, etc. No, and this event is really exciting for us, no, and very timely, no, to talk about something that is really important, no, for our daily lives and the daily jobs that we do in our different organizations, no, and we're talking about data, no. So why data matters? So as you know, data is not seen anymore as a number, no, that you need to record somewhere. No, it's more considered today as a driver of performance. No, and particularly for water supply and sanitation utilities, data is essential. No, and it's essential because it helps monitoring performance, improving service delivery. Also, it's very important to justify investments and attract financing, but also it builds transparency and accountability with customers and regulators. No, but we all know that it's not just any kind of data. Now, data needs to be reliable, needs to be comparable, and of course, actionable, no, data. So, what is the opportunity here, no, for all of us around the IWNet, no? And you will see throughout the session today a presentation, a quick outline of what is IWNet, what is the new IWNet platform. The IWNet platform stands for the International Benchmarking Network for Water and Sanitation Utilities, no? And this is more than a database, no? It's more a dynamic platform designed for utilities, no? So we put utilities at the center of the design to help assess, no, and track the performance in real time. Also benchmark, no, with other peers, but also provide the visual dashboards, no, interactive dashboards. But most importantly, I think the opportunity here is for utilities to connect and learn from others. No, it is a game changer. No, we consider it as a game changer because it opens the possibility to have more inclusive data, to adapt, no, IBNet to other local platforms. It helps create a common language, no, around performance, both KPIs and management practices through different utilities around the world, and it's basically a pathway, no, to embark in the different performance improvement plans that are very common among utilities, no. So our call to action today is for you to please be on the lookout, no, for the different information around IBNet, but also my colleague Anna, no, will explain an interesting initiative that it's going to be launched today, no, precisely in this session, along with our partners IWA, you know, who are also part of the session today, and who we also thank for their enormous contributions, no, to the data mobilization campaign, but also to the data culture, no, to promoting this data culture around the utilities in the world. So with that, I'll hand it over to Anna, and she can lead us through the next topics in the session. Thank you so much, Anna. Over to you.
Thank you, Marco. Marco, as a senior water and sanitation specialist at the World Bank, is leading the new IBNet efforts. Thank you very much for welcoming us and for officially announcing this initiative. I will now have the honors to go into a bit more detail about what this initiative is about and how you can participate, no matter if you're joining from a water utility association or from a regulator. We made sure that everyone from each institution from the entire water sector can participate. We have here today with us Viola Lascu. She's from Kosovo. She is head of the urban wastewater treatment plant at her water utility in the city of Jakova. Fiola was a data pioneer last year when she became a member of NewIBNET on behalf of her utility, where she shared data, where she started using it for benchmarking internationally, and where she got the opportunity to travel to the World Water Congress in Toronto from IWA last year. We will get a proper tutorial on a step-to-step guide how to participate, how to become a NewIBNet member, how to become member of this community of practice that we are shaping together with IWA. And finally, speaking of IWA, we have our colleagues here, our dear partner, Charles Joseph. He is a strategy and insights manager at IWA, and he'll let us know what to expect at the Water Development Congress in Bangkok this December. And then we have more than enough time to answer all of your questions. Please, for today, we're in a webinar setting. Make sure to use the Q&A button. You can also exchange on the chat. On the chat, you will also find a link to a form where we invite you to share where you're joining us from. You can use your video when you speak, and in order to speak, please raise your hand, and we will give you the allowance to speak, because in a webinar setting, you can't just unmute yourself. We have to do that for you. Well, these are the formalities for today, and with that, let's hear more about this initiative. As Marco already mentioned, at the heart of this Data Pioneers initiative lies a very simple belief that data, when shared and used well, becomes a powerful force for transformation in the water sector, for water utilities, for water associations, and regulators. So together with IWA, we launched this initiative to spotlight water and sanitation institutions that are not only collecting data, but also using it to inform decision-making, to improve performance, to serve people better. Because obviously, and in today's world with AI in our daily businesses, being data smart is being part of the future. So we're thrilled to be doing this together in very close collaboration with the International Water Association. There are global events like the World Water Congress last year, or the year before in Kigali, the Water Development Congress, with all the IWA specialist groups. They really offer like an unmatched space for connecting, for getting inspired, for learning, because they're always at like providing state-of-the-art and in-depth research, more than probably any association in the world. So this joint initiative was born about 3 years ago. I wasn't working for NewIBNet back then, but I had the honors to accompany some of the data pioneers last year through this process. And so what began as a pilot is already a grown and diverse community by now. So we had an edition in Kigali in 2022 and a second round in Toronto in 2023, where we brought together utilities and associations, and this year also regulators. We could really tell at these events that it sparked conversations, exchanges were happening on a very meaningful level, because those data pioneers that come together, they were coming prepared. They were coming with their data, their benchmark data. They were coming with their self-assessments filled out. So that is a whole different level on where to connect with your peers. So we're not just giving out what could be called like an award. It's much more an incentive and a motivation, basically a best practice of what happens when you come together in a learning environment and you come prepared. That altogether is shaping something that we call a community of practice, a community of peers that all want the same thing. We celebrate progress, of course, but we also share challenges. And this is where learning becomes mutual. So you probably ask yourself, well, how do I become part of it? And you yourself, but also as part of your institution, as part of your water utility, as part of your water association, or as part of being a regulation authority. We do have a whole set of workflows and guidance papers for you ready on our initiatives website. But let me quickly run through it, what this means for water utilities. So obviously we have NewIBNet members that will just resubmit. They have their portal. So if you're already a member, yes, you just log in to your utility portal and you share complete data for 2024. And that will make you eligible. That will make you a 2025 data pioneer. If you're not a NewIBNet member yet, you can simply register and we will have the tutorial later on how to do that. You will be verified. And again, once you've shared 2024 data, this is a minimum requirement, you will become officially a 2025 data pioneer and eligible to maybe and hopefully be one of the data pioneers also joining us for the IWA Congress in Bangkok. As a water association, we invite you to partner with us. So if you're not a partner yet, please send us an email and then mobilize your water utilities to follow the steps that I just explained. As a regulator, and this is new this year, we would also love to collaborate. Regulators as being a crucial part of the water sector, especially when it comes to performance data. Please, you're also invited to join this initiative this year. For regulators, as it's different in every country, it will be a very individual assessment. So please reach out to us. Please fill in this form so that we can reach out to you and set up a meeting and discuss with you the way forward. Basically, where do you find all of this information? You go to the initiative's website. Please, we have a really cool feature on our initiative's website that allows you to read this page in 50 different languages. So please make sure to use that if English is not your mother tongue. I would like to show you that if you go to our initiatives page, you will find there the participation guidelines. I really recommend strongly that you give them a quick read. There's like 2 or 3 pages for each institution type. And in the participation guidelines, you can find very important information, such as that you can increase your chances to go to Bangkok via entering data for multiple years. That, on the other side, will also give you access to multi-year benchmarking, but more about multi-year benchmarking from my colleague Gil later. Also, you will find the required data on the initiative's website. So please really make sure to use the website as a tool to participate in this initiative. That's it from my side. And with that, I want to give you a bit of a deeper insight by introducing Fiola Lascu herself. As head of wastewater treatment plant and as a NewIBNet member, she can share her experience of what it feels like and what it is like to be a data pioneer. Fiola, over to you.
Yeah, Anna, thank you very much. Should I share my screen in my presentation?
I can gladly do that for you.
Yeah,
and
yeah, I think I can manage, right? It is okay?
Is also, yes. So I will click
Because I
forward.
can move the slides, yeah.
Oh, okay, yep. Just share your own screen then, no problem.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Okay. Oh, excuse
Nice.
me.
We can see it and we can hear you.
Yeah, good. Thank you very much for inviting me in this very nice session and to share my great experience last year as a data pioneer in Toronto. I'm Fiola Lascu. I'm from Kosovo. I work at water utility in Jakova city. And actually, I'm managing the urban wastewater treatment plant in Jakova. Yeah, and I'm here today to present the power of benchmarking for utility excellence and my experience from last year like NewIBNet 2024 data entry. And yeah, as a global water utility benchmarking, what means to be a NewIBNet membership is just like sharing data, use these data and connect and learn. I like this scheme because yeah, you have enough data and very important ones, but you have to know how to use these data. As you said, that having data in these days means that you're very rich, but you have to know how to use them. And yeah, with this opportunity you can connect and learn from each other, like Anna said, the communities of practice. When I started to put my data last year for the first time in NewIBNet, because I'm already a member of utility benchmarking from UBP for Kosovo and Albania only, and you can compare yourself only with your own country for other utilities, but not in a bigger scale. At this time was very different for me. It was the first time to put data in the NewIBNet platform, and there you can find two important indicators, like a key performance indicator when you can see your strengths and opportunities for improvement, and also management practices indicators when you can see your best practices, but also areas for improvement of your utility. But what is important is that you compare yourself and you compare your data with global benchmarks, which is so cool and so nice, and you can really see where you really stand in the bigger scale. It's important. It was important. Yeah, sorry. It was important for me to know the difference between KPIs and MPIs, when KPIs are based on results and MPIs are based on the process and practices. But the most important things are that in the platform itself, all these indicators are already there. You just have to put data and to show where your utility performance. It's like for me, it's like just playing. Putting data, it's a challenge, but playing with a NewIBNet platform is so cool, because you can really see and compare yourself with other utilities, and you will have a very clear overview what utility, what is the performance of the utility. And yeah, I just picked some dashboards from my portal in the platform, and here you can easily see yourself as your country performance overview. You just need to select the country, and you can compare yourself with other countries for each key performance indicators. But also, if you want to go in more details, you can compare your utility with other utilities in the global scale. So you can play with a different kind of indicators, and yeah, whatever you need to know about your utility, everything is there. And I just picked some main indicators just to see where we stand, and to see some strengths and also some weak points. And I just took, like, for example, some I'm just moving, but sorry. And I just picked drinking water coverage, for example, and we can compare ourselves with our utilities in our country, but also with Europe, and also in a bigger scale, like NewIBNet global average, which is so nice. And also I picked non-revenue water, and we can easily see where we stand. And also we can I chose wastewater collected and treated. It's a field where I work, and we can see that there is a lot of space for improvement, for instance. And also percentage of female employees in Kosovo is quite low, and there is also space for improvement, I think. So you can find whatever you need in NewIBNet platform, which is so cool. And whenever you need data for a different kind of purposes, the data are there, and you just need to sign in. That's it. Yeah, the last slide, but not least, I just wanted to share some my experiences during the Toronto Initiative. It was like a dream for me. Last year, it was announcement that you can apply for this learning initiative at Toronto edition, and I was since I was member for benchmarking UBP in Kosovo and Albania, and it was announcement that you can start and put data in NewIBNet platform, so you can be a potential data pioneer who can attend this Congress in Toronto. And I said, why not? I can try. And I introduced it to my colleagues, and guys, there is opportunity to do this. But my colleagues were so skeptic, and they said, come on, maybe it's too difficult to. I said, okay, I will put data anyway, and who knows, maybe. And yeah, I put a lot of effort to complete my data. Some data from benchmark were directly combined with this NewIBNet platform, but we had also extra data to put on the platform. It required some effort to do, but it was worth it. And I was selected. I won the, let's say, award and prize to go in Toronto Initiative. And I can say that it was a great opportunity for me to learn and to see people from all over the world, not because we were only in Europe. It was the first time for me to see the Congress in such a big scale and to learn from a lot of experts from the all around the world, and to see a lot of innovative solutions, and yeah, to know importance of benchmarking and data is it was a very great opportunity for me to know other peers from NewIBNet and sharing our experiences, and yeah, to have global collaboration. And for utility, yes, to adopt best practices and data-driven culture. We really need to know the data culture, and to establish this data culture in our utilities it was very good to learn. But what I wanted to say and what I learned in this experience, it was that even if we think that we are a very tiny country or utility and we are not doing nothing in our job, when you see your data in utility in the NewIBNet platform, there is a point that your job is it's seen somewhere, and it's recognized somewhere, and every hour, every time you spend at your work, somewhere is written, and data are there. So it's very, very important to manage the data and to share with each other. And yeah, it was so fun. It was very good experience. It was very beautiful in Toronto, and I met a lot of people, and yeah, and I already have friends from all over the world, and I'm so happy. Thank you very much, Anna, and all of you. I hope I didn't spend too much time.
No worries. Thank you so much for your really honest insights. I think what you said about Kosovo being a very small country, and then working at your own utility, you might sometimes feel like, oh, you're alone with this. But I love that NewIBNet gives you the feeling that you're actually part of a bigger community that goes around the world. Great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Fjola. Thank you for inspiring, hopefully not just me, but also some of the participants in this virtual setting. And with that, I want to hand over to my colleague, Gil. He is the expert when it comes to NewIBNet, its data, its portal, and whenever you have any questions, Gil has an answer to them all. So with that, let me hand over to him to give you a step-by-step guide to how to register. And that is the first step of also taking part in this initiative for the IWA and for the NewIBNet Data Pioneers Initiative this year.
Thank you, Anna. It's very, very hard to speak after that introduction. But yeah, I think it's a fantastic opportunity when we hear from Fiola and from so many other colleagues. We had the opportunity. It's the third time we're doing this. We had the first time in the World Water Development Congress in Kigali. Now the second one in Toronto last year, and the third one this year in Bangkok. So I want just to give a round of virtual applause for IWA for keeping this partnership together. But I just want to share some of the insights I'm seeing before going into my very short presentation, if I can. So I just want to give some time for everyone to recognize. Do not miss the opportunity to share some of the insights with us, because that help us, oh wait, to share where you're joining from and how much you know. We already can see that we have people from all over the world, but what strikes me is that we have a lot of people from water and sanitation utilities, and a lot of them that are not IBNet members. So this is particularly helpful. So if you're not an IBNet member, this will serve you as a guide to how to register and how to become part of this initiative by sharing your data. And if you're already an IBNet member, this is a good refresher for what we are, how to do everything, and so on and so forth. As I said, for newcomers, let's go with the NewIBNet basics. As some of our friends have already said, the utilities are in the forefront of the water sanitation challenge, and it presents itself into the face of climate change, the pressure for expand and improve water service provision, and the impact of economic fluctuation cycles and crises such as COVID has shown us. And data is something that utilities not only produce, but they have to make it work for them. And how do we make data work for our utility, work for the improvement of our performance? And how, and in simple words, how do we go from data collection to a data culture and data-driven decisions, as Fiola has beautifully pointed out. And that's where IBNet is. We believe that visibility and comparison can create dynamic towards improvement, can help utilities understand where they are, and can create discipline. And these three aspects are key in this journey from making the step towards data-driven decisions. I will not go much deeper into this because Fiola has done a way better job in explaining this than I do, that I can possibly do. But IBNet collects data into two areas: key performance indicator and management practices. One, the more traditional quantitative data, looking at their service provision, performance, and etc. The other one is a self-assessment that looks at the way things are done. And these together make what we call in the IBNet data services. How to register and to become a member of NewIBNet. For those that are not registered yet, you can go to the NewIBNet website. You're going to see on the top right hand button inviting you to register. You can also go to the utility, to the initiative website. As Anna has pointed out, we have made the registration link available there. But once you are there, you fill in a list of questions that let us know a little bit more about you. And then you will receive an email that let you onboard yourself and then access your portal. You just pointed out that the IBNet signing process is through a single sign-on, so there's no need to create a new login or new password. In order to join, you can authenticate your process using your own email. And once you are inside the community, you can go on the IBNet portal by selecting the My IBNet portal for registered members, or on the bottom of the community space, there is a link that goes directly to your IBNet portal. I'll share how that look with you in a moment, but just to remember which data to share The 15 key performance indicators is the statement that IBNet believes that less is more. We're not saying that utilities are this simple. We're just saying that we want to start with the basics. We want to, because this is a condition to participate, and this is how we understand that this is the basic data that utilities collect. And it's divided, as you can see on the screen, from water operations to more administrative aspects such as human resources, and it provides a wide range of indicators. Similarly to that idea of less is more, we have the management practices. These are qualitative self-assessment. So this, you can see, you're going to have a question and a scenario, like 5 scenarios, and you're going to see which scenario describes best the reality of your water and sanitation utility, or select all the scenarios that apply. It's a very simple methodology, but it's super insightful. We have seen members that have said that after completing their management practices, they were presented ideas on how to manage their utility better. It didn't show them what they were doing, but show them what they could do. There's also a capacity to download the data entry questions as a PDF in order to prepare your utility a little bit better. We understand that sometimes this data is spread throughout the different departments of utility. So if you want, we also provide this offline version of the data entry questions for you to validate them with your manager or with your colleagues in other department, and make sure that you are ready to submit this data. A refresher for new IBNet member, as I said, these are the 15 KPIs that we are collecting. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to send us an email. We understand that sometimes these concepts or some of these data points can be a little bit different in the way they are collected in your utility. So send a message to the new IBNet team, to Anna, to myself. We will try to clarify that so you can get the most out of the data services, so the comparisons can be impactful for you. Same thing applies with the management practices. We understand that sometimes management practices do not change that much between one year and the other, but it is important for us to collect these management practices at least once a year to, one, give space for you to show these changes if they happen, and the second one, to make sure that we are comparing performance and management practices on the same year. That's important. As you see, the data entry questions in PDF are also available for members, and for people that are not registered yet. Just to summarize, log in, share your data. Are you, the question is, are you registered as the new IBNet data focal point for your utility? Do you have the email address you've registered with? Sometimes this email changes. There is some login issues. As I said, do not hesitate to send a message to the new IBNet team. We will clarify everything with you. As you can see, there is a NewIBNet at worldbank.org email that you can reach us using that one. Just to finalize, let me just give me 1 second while I share. I change my screens here. I just want to show you in real action what that looks like, so you can see, because the reality can be a little bit different from the screenshots on the PowerPoint. However, we try to make it the more similar, like the most similar possible. So as you can see, this is the new IBNet website. The register option is on top here. If you are not a member, you will be asked to fill in this registration form and send it to us on the new IBNet team. If you're already a member, you can go here and check your IBNet portal. If you check your IBNet portal, you will be invited to sign in. This is the email you use to register. And this sign in, I'll give you an example of a personal email that we have registered to test. You'll be directed to your login page of your email. So there's no need to create additional emails or passwords for IBNet. Really fast. Once you log in, your portal will look more or less like this. Mine is slightly different because it's a little bit of the developer version, but you will be able to see data entries assigned to you as Fiola has pointed out, you have the playground or the utilities dashboard where you're able to compare your utility, multiple years, multiple functions, like seeing the utility overview, see the individual indicator overview, and so on and so forth. The data entries will be available on the left-hand side on the data entry tab. As you can expect, once you click on it, you'll be able to authenticate your email again and fill in the data survey or the data entry tool as it is available. The data entry tool, the website, and the portal are available for now in 4 different languages: English, Portuguese, Spanish, and French. We are working towards expanding this, but as you can see, this is the view in Portuguese, and this is the view in English to make it more accessible. I think that's it from my end. I hope I was able to cover. I know it's a lot of information, but please, if you have any questions, do not hesitate. Oh, I do have one final point that I forgot to mention, that this year, for the first time, we have the capacity of multiple users collaborating on the same survey. This was a request from our members that we worked really, really hard to attend. It was very hard to have only one person submitting this data. So this year, multiple people can be from the same utility, can be registered as additional contributors. If you have any questions on how to do this, again, send us a message. We'll be available for you. Anna, over to you.
Thank you, Gil. I think it's pretty clear. In any case, we have a question on the Q&A box that I want to quickly read out loud. The question goes to Fiola. The question is, how much time does it take to submit the minimum of data to participate?
Yeah. Can I answer here, or should I
Yes,
write
please.
down? I can do it. Yeah. Actually, it was for me. It was like in last minutes putting data for NewIBNet. But since I mentioned that I'm already a member of benchmarking NewBP for Kosovo. I have account in benchmarking platform, and most of the data are there, and we just transferred this data in the NewIBNet platform. But there were also some extra questions to submit, and yeah, just taking in account that I had to work from 8 to 4, and then after that to do this job, like an extra job for me. It took me like 1 week, like not really harsh, but just like 1 week to complete the questions that remained from benchmarking. Yeah. And I had to collaborate with other colleagues from different departments, for example, from financial, and it took me a bit time to collaborate with them. Yeah.
Thank you, Fiola. I definitely want to add that we're also conducting consistency checks once data is submitted. So please make sure not to wait until the last minute and do it somewhere in October.
And Anna, if I can
Sure.
add here super fast, like IWNet is a learning exercise as well. So as Fiola has said, sometimes it involves a little bit checking on different departments, but as we have our colleagues from the National Water Commission in Jamaica, that they have explained to us that the first year it took a little bit more time, but because the IWNet exercise is so much based on the regulators exercise conducted nationally and some other benchmarking exercise, the second year they could do it in less than a day. So they were already prepared. And it's a lot about how your utility works internally, but I would say that a couple hours to organize the data, that's probably the part that takes more time. It's organizing the data, but the process of like submitting it inside the portal should not take more than 30 minutes to an hour. So we made it user friendly, so you can go inside. And if you don't have time, as Yola said, if you have like to spread it, you can enter the system, save progress on the data entry, and return from where you stopped a little bit later. So yeah, I just wanted to add that. Over.
Thanks, Gil. Thanks. Right. So we have a Q&A session and time allocated at the end, but now I guess what everyone has been waiting for, and we've been keeping him from you, is Charles, with his presentation on what we can actually expect in Bangkok. And then after his presentation, we will collect, I see, quite some answers unanswered in the Q&A box. So we will address that just after Charles' presentation. Charles, over to you.
Thanks, Anna. Thanks for that introduction. Just trying to share my screen here. So hope it's visible now. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you who have joined this call. First of all, on behalf of International Water Association, I would like to extend a warm welcome to each one of you. And again, a special thanks to the colleagues from the NewIBNet team as well for their continued collaboration and this important journey. And also, Fiona, thanks for that quick reflections that you have mentioned as a water utility professional, and also about the things that you could learn and benefit from attending the World Water Congress in Toronto last year. So as my colleagues from our colleagues from the World Bank was telling, right, about the initiative, right, which we started in Kigali in 2023. We sort of had this pilot run for the last 2 years, and it's evolving and it's keeping on evolving, I guess. And this year we have this addition of regulators also embedded into this group. But finally, when you look at it, right, we see a sort of tremendous increase in the interest of utilities participating in our Congress, not just from the IBNet cohort. We also have a larger cohort within the IWA community who are from utilities, particularly through some of our programs. And again, we also have some partnership with several water operators partnerships. So the way I see it is this would be the largest platform where you have this knowledge exchange or networking between several water and sanitation utilities across the globe. And I'm sure this initiative have not only encouraged to open up and share your data, but it has also benefited from, like our colleagues was telling, right, a lot of insights from the benchmarking, and also about the knowledge sharing and also networking with the peers. And particularly this Congress will be giving you a lot of opportunity to have that learning and also exchange between the several utilities, and also give you a visibility on a global platform. So today I will be just talking about IWA in a brief introduction, and then followed with which we will have some sort of insights on what you could expect from the World Water and Development Congress in Bangkok. So for those of you who may not be knowing about International Water Association, IWA stands as a premier global organization for water professionals spanning over 140 countries. And our members are from every facet of the water sector, from academia to research to practitioners from water and sanitation utilities, industries, manufacturers, technology providers, and so on. So we all are in this association to strive a world where water is wisely, sustainably, and equitably managed. And we do it through our several initiatives within the organization. For example, we have something called specialist group, which are actually our research groups. There are around 51 specialist groups. These are people who are working, like-minded people who are working in a certain domain within the water sector, trying to promote the best practices, the best case studies, the best technologies available in the market to promote their utility, to ring fence some of the things that they're doing within the institution as well. So if I want to give some examples, there are a specialist group which are of interest to the utilities. You have water laws, water reuse, asset management, benchmarking and performance assessment group, large water and wastewater treatment plants. So these are groups where you will find the like-minded people who work in that domain, disseminating some of the knowledge and best practices. So this is something that you would be able to capture. And we also have within the organization, as a secretariat, we run several programs. For example, the Digital Water Program, which talks about the digital transformation within the water and sanitation utility. There is this Climate Smart Utilities Program, which myself and my colleague Brenda is associated with, which talks about the climate transition that water and sanitation utilities adhere to, particularly focusing on adaptation and mitigation and the leadership strategies. Then we have some programs called Inclusive Urban Sanitation, Safe Drinking Water, and some of the larger programs of Cities of Future and Basins of Future and so on. And we also publish a lot of journals and peer-reviewed journals and books, which are of some of the top academic journals in the water, in the water domain is from our publications. For example, Water Research is one of the top journal that is that's been remarked in the water industry as such, having an impact factor around 11 or 12, I guess. So a reason, right, most of the people are part of the IWA is because of its events and the knowledge and the networking that it have. So every week of any year, we have an event somewhere across the globe. And the congresses are celebrated as Olympics in the water sector. That's how we sort of say it. The reason being, this is the largest event that you would see within the water sector globally, where you have all the actors working in the water sector convene. So this particular opportunity with this initiative would embark you to have to participate in our flagship congresses. So, like our colleagues were telling, they were part of this initiative from Kigali, which was in 2023, and 2024 we had it in Toronto, and this year it is going to be in Bangkok in December. And 2026, it's been announced, it is going to be in Glasgow, and 2028, it is going to be in Malaysia. So these are events which travels across the globe, where we celebrate and we also share the sort of the best technologies, the best practices, the tools and technologies that could help in striving a world where water is wisely managed. Particularly talking about this Congress, what I thought it would be good to give you an insight about what happened in Kigali, because this could be a reference for you to expect for the Bangkok event. The reason being, we are 8 months away from the Congress, and there are a lot of things that we are finalizing with the organizers, and a lot of events are being planned. But by the time, I think by June, we will be able to give you a full picture about the entire Congress and the several activities that we will be having in Bangkok. But if you look at the Kigali event, as you see, you have a lot of technical sessions, workshops, and forums. And some of these sessions and forums are purely associated or connected with utilities as such. But there would be topics about the applied science and pure research. Apart from that, there would be sessions that are very much practitioners oriented, where I think this is going to really benefit the utility community here. And the forums, particularly, we have the Utility Leaders Forum, where the CEOs or the board of directors of the utilities convene around the globe, and which happens, it is going to be a day or a 2-day program. And we talk about the challenges, some of the solutions, and some of the practices that they have adopted, to mitigate these challenges. So it would be a very interesting discussion forum, and we are keeping it very much exclusive for utilities to attend. So this is something that might be of interest, and particularly for the regulators who are attending this event, right, or this initiative. There will be also an International Water Regulators Forum, where you would talk about the different policies and regulatory frameworks that's been adopted in several countries, and how do you mitigate the sort of balance between the utilities and also the regulators. Those sort of dialogues would happen during the event as well. We also have done an exercise to understand the feedback of the attendees from the event, and as you see, almost 90% of the people are satisfied with the Congress in terms of the content as such, with the speakers, and the quality of sessions. Now, one piece which is associated with the Congress is we have the technical content, and where we have the technical sessions, paper presentation, poster presentations, workshops, forums, and so on. But apart from that, we'll also have something called, we'll also have an exhibition area where you will see a lot of pilots or technology solutions that's been promoted for the region. Particularly in a developing world context, these would be the solutions that could be fit into that area. And that might be of interest for you as well to sort of understand the different solutions available in the market. Now, we also will be having awards and recognitions during the Congress. So this was a glimpse of the Kigali Congress, where we also embark some of the individuals who have done very exclusive or very prominent work in the sector. So we have an award for research and we have an award for practice. Maybe it's something for you to consider it being a practitioner if you have done remarkable efforts in transforming some of the challenges in your region and have solutions and have developed solutions for it. It's something for you to consider and apply. We are still having the nominations open. It would be closed in May 11th. So it's open, and I would encourage some of you to apply for in case if you would like to participate in it. Then we will have the Climate Smart Utilities Recognition Program, which is recognizing some of the utilities globally in terms of the climate transition journey. So in 2023, we had almost 26 utilities which we have recognized, and some of them were outstanding. And you would be seeing some of you, I don't know if you are from any of those utilities, the top right picture shows the liberation of those utilities. Now, we'll be having the program launched by May and or early June. We'll be sharing the details with the World Bank team as well, which I'm sure they would be circulating with the community of practice. And so this might be also a modality where you can attend the event. This also have a sort of a financial opportunity for you in case you are found as the top utilities who are in that climate transition journey. IWA would be supporting you to financially supporting you to attend the Congress. And then we also had from the Inclusive Urban Sanitation Program, we also had a sort of sanitation champions who have done a lot of activities within the sanitation sector. That's not particular to sanitation as a utility, but also sanitation in the sector if they have done a lot of if they have championed a lot of sanitation activities, they're embarked. Now, to give a glimpse of how the Bangkok would be this year, it's going to happen from December 8 to 12 with the support of AIT, it's Asian Institute of Technology, around the theme on water, sanitation, and innovation pathways to progress and a resilient future. So we'll be having, as I said, we'll be having different programs, different tracks, different themes run in different formats. So we'll have a plenary session, technical tools, trainings, utility leaders forum, business forum, particularly connected to the exhibition part, and then some other workshops. So if you look at it, we'll be having 5 broad themes, and some of these themes are very relevant to water and sanitation utilities. For example, ensuring safe drinking water, advancing wastewater treatment and sanitation, smart water management, and the 4th one particularly, enhancing utility management and operations. So in a nutshell, you will have 5 broad themes in 10 panel sessions, having around 110 technical sessions, workshops, forums, and so on. So it would be a really interesting program for you to attend and learn and contribute. That's how I would put it. We will be also having a specific track for utilities as such. So you will know if you're a utility, each day, what would be the theme that you could attend, what would be the session that you could attend, and so on. So we will have that tracks developed by the end of November once we finalize the program schedule and all. So that would be of easy. That would help you in sort of navigating through the conference as such. Like I said, we will be having the event from 8 to 12, where we would be opening the conference on Monday in the evening, followed by Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we'll have a keynote in morning and evening. And between that, we will be having 3 sessions. And we close the Congress on Friday, which is on 12th of December. Now, other than the technical side of things, right, you will also have an opportunity to attend some of the technical tools. So this would be visiting a treatment plant or visiting some of the utilities there. So having that sort of good practices learned from them, that sort of modality is what you could expect from the technical tools. And also we'll be having social programs, which is apart from the technical side of the conference, you will also have an opportunity to have some understanding about the local culture and touristic aspects. There will be cultural evening or cultural night. There will be gala dinner. There will be tourist tours that will be operated by the city, Bangkok city, which you would have a better opportunity to utilize this platform as such. So these are some of the activities that you can expect during the Congress. And I would say it would be a wonderful opportunity for everyone to participate in this initiative, share your data, and also attend the Congress. And I think last time also we have done the same. We would be giving an opportunity for all the participants of the World Bank IWNet group a special discount. If you are not selected in this pool of people, you would have a special discount to attend our event, and thereby giving them expecting the maximum from the Congress as such. Over to you, Anna. If there are more questions, I'm happy to answer.
Thank you, Charles. Yes, indeed, there are more questions. Thank you, as you said, for this great collaboration over the past years. I witnessed last year how it works like a well-oiled machine. So thanks for the insights, what the opportunities are at IWA also for utilities, and especially at your events. We will now go to the Q&A session. We will hear from Gil mainly the answers. And let me first just give you one brief answer. There's like a very important question. How many people will actually be able to go? And for that, I want to emphasize how important the participation guidelines are. They're your Bible for this initiative. I hope you can see them on my screen. And on the last page, you also see when we do the announcement of who will be able to go. So altogether, we're planning and hopefully also managing to send 8 representatives, 5 stemming from utilities, 2 stemming from associations, and 1 from a regulator. In these participation guidelines, you will have more information on what the criteria for regulators are, what the criteria for associations are, and also for utilities. I really recommend this little PDF. And now over to the rest of your questions. Gil, there's a question specifically addressed to you. It says, Gil, kindly throw more light on the multiple users sending data for one utility.
Yes. Thank you for the question. It's an anonymous question, so I cannot thank the person personally. But the idea was, it was very, very hard for only like one data focal point to be responsible for the whole data mobilization process. So what we created is instrument called additional contributors. That means that multiple people can collaborate on the same data entry. So we are not creating different data entries for the same utility. Each utility have their own data entry on performance. And then you have 1 or 2 up to 3 people that can collaborate on that data entry. So once they submitted a data entry, that data entry go forward as the data entry and that as the data points for the water and sanitation utility. What happens is once you register, you will get an email and you will get access to the survey. There's no like formal distinction between in the portal, for example, between the data focal point and the additional contributors, but you will see the data entry on your portal if you're an additional contributor. So the person registers normally, or the data focal point from the utility can send us a message on NewIBNet. The person then gets access to the survey or the data entry from the utility. Why that is particularly important? Because, for example, if you have one utility or there is a conglomerate of utilities that provides service into different areas that are financially independent. So in order to be considered different utilities, these have to be ring fenced. The service areas have to be ring fenced. That's particularly the case, for example, in Brazil. I know that happens quite often. You have the capacity of one contributor submitting different data entries for the same utility, for different data entries for different utilities. The multi-user is the other way around. So you would have one data entry for one water sanitation utilities and 2 or 3 people contributing on the same data entry. Once approved, all the other contributors, when trying to access the data entry, will see the thank you for submitting this information message. I just want to use that as a bridge for the next question that says, will the different users' data feed into one dashboard for the utility? As I explained, the data entry is only one for each utility. There's no multiple data entries for the same utility. So once submitted, that data will be attached to that utility, and the other, like the additional contributors, will not be able to edit the data, for example. So it doesn't create like parallel data entries for the same utility. Anna has said something about the review mechanism, and I see that there is some questions about it. After getting submitted, the data gets sent to the NewIBNet team for a quick review. We call that a consistency check, because we all humans, we all make mistakes, and sometimes it's not to say that the data was wrong. It's just that the enabling environment in which utilities play is so different that sometimes what for us is considered a mistake or an inconsistency is just a request for clarification. To understand that the data you have submitted as a data focal point or as an additional contributor accurately describes the reality in which the challenges and opportunities your utility is facing. So it's not to say that the data is wrong. It's just an additional step for us to avoid human errors and to make sure that the data is the data is accurate. Anna, I don't think if there is any other questions for me.
I did also not see any more questions. I would like to give people a few more minutes if there are if there's anything coming up. But if that's not the case, I see a hand being raised. So 1 second, I see Leknat. There you go. Please unmute yourself. You're also invited to turn your camera on. We are ready for your comments or questions. I'm not sure if your microphone, now. Hi.
Hello. Hi. Hi, namaste.
Yes, we can hear you. What's your question or comment?
Yeah, actually, I'm from Lekhat Water Supply Users Committee from Nepal. So I have submitted the data of the 2023 and 2024. But I'm confused when I submitted the data inside the IBNet. So how could I retrieve my data? And how could I print my data? I couldn't get any access there to print out my data. Could you please give me the access how to, from where should I print my data for my reference?
Okay, yes, that is a really good question. You can do a couple ways. The first one, I've seen that you submitted your data. We're just waiting for us to have at least 10 utilities submitted their data so we can start the dashboards for 2024. Because as you see, all of our dashboards are configured so you can compare your utilities with others. Thank you for submitting your data, by the way. In order to see the data you've submitted, you can see the indicators. There's an option to download the report on the utility dashboards. And in order to protect the data is only accessible, the raw data submitted to IBNet is only accessible through a request. So if you send us a message, we will make that data you submitted available. But that's our commitment to data safety and data security, and to protect the raw data that's shared by our users. I hope that answers your questions, and I will make that data available for you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your question. I really do not see anything else in the chat nor in the Q&A box, and I also don't see any more hands raised. Oh, and in that second, I just received another question. Okay. As the water regulator of Albania, we're interested in taking part, but we currently do not have an IBNet account. I've registered individually, and my application is currently pending approval. Could you kindly advise whether this pending status affects our eligibility to participate? Also, is there a specific process for institutions like ours to gain access to IBNet, or should we wait for the individual approval to proceed? Gio.
Anna? Yes. Okay. Thank you, Tuliva, for your question. I think it's so for regulators, we are invited the regulator to submit the registration form, because for each regulator we need to have a parallel conversation, understand a little bit more of the status and the conditions in which they collect data to see if we can harmonize. About the registration status, this is we kindly ask for patience whenever registering. Your registration will be processed today. It usually takes 24 to 48 hours for the registration to be processed. I just that sometimes we need to check with some of our country teams and for the legitimate the veracity of that, of course, but they will be processed soon. There is another question. I think Anna, I will take it from there because I think that's from me as well. Is there a possibility to submit the data to IBNet via an API? Unfortunately, no. That's part of our future developments. As you can see, IBNet is a living platform, so we are constantly developing to make sure that we can adapt to the different realities of the world. We unfortunately do not provide API submission capacity. However, for regulators, we are trying to see if we can work together to include an import function that would allow for the bulk upload of data from the utilities they regulate. And so the utilities would only be responsible for submitting their management practices. But that is unfortunately discussed on a case by case, need. But Roderick, I can follow up with you, but unfortunately the answer is unfortunately no. The API submission is not available yet. But we can work to further include systems integration through the import function. Another question from Tarindora. I'm working on a World Bank project under which we plan, design, and construct community managed water schemes. Once completed, we monitor and evaluate these schemes for around 3 years. Thus, I'm not sure if we qualify as a utility or should use the other option. And since there are multiple separate water systems, should data be combined to present an overall picture, or does each system need its own set of data? Tarandero, from that information, we still need to verify the eligibility. We usually look for traditional water and sanitation service suppliers with a mandate to provide water and sanitation services within a service area. So the more traditional water and sanitation utilities, for these community managed water schemes, we are still not sure. So please send us a message. We would need to check with that. But for the different water schemes, the different utility service areas, what we say is if the service areas financially independent, so they're ring fenced, then the data should be submitted individually to each water scheme or each service area individually. If they all fall under one big financial aspect, then it should be submitted together. And if you have any other questions, I see Anna is already, the hour is really advanced.
Yes.
And I've seen some other questions. We're more than happy to take them bilaterally with you, as for the Judith question, for example.
Oh yeah, Judith, we will just get back by email on that one. Because that should not be the case. I might have to check with IT. Or yeah, that's an issue to investigate. But not for now, because now I hand over to Charles for some final and closing remarks. Thank you everyone for joining until the end.
Thanks, Anna. And again, thank you for all of the representatives from utilities, associations, and regulators for attending this launch call and also raising some of the questions. We'll be happy to get back in case if you have further questions on this. And our coordinates could be, my colleague would be sharing our coordinates in case if you want to reach out to us. Special thanks to Fiola for sharing your reflections and your story, and in that journey for the last initiative and the learnings from the Congress as well. And again, a big shout out to my colleagues at IWNet for this continued collaborations, and IWA as an institution, we are honored to be part of this initiative, because we see it's more than a data collection. It reflects a sort of a shared commitment to champion some of the excellence and innovation in the water sector globally. And as some of you have told, right, data is not just about some numbers and dashboard, right? It's about creating some of the actionable knowledge to have that data-driven decision making, and for the performance improvement, and finally building a stronger utility that can deliver better service to the people. And I think utilities, you are actually the core or the centerpiece of this transformation. So finally, I would like to encourage everyone to apply for this goal, and also to become a part of this global movement of data pioneers. Together, we can build a stronger, smarter, and a more resilient utility for a better water future. Thank you.
Thank you, Charles. Thank you to all the participants. Bye-bye. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we hope to see you in this initiative.
Bye, and thank you very much.
Yola, can you stay for a second? I think Charles wants to take a picture.